sales process in terms of chapters 2 and terms of chapters 3. We just recently learned this. This was like on Monday and Tuesday. We learned chapter 2 and 3. So here is we're going to be what students should know is who should be listed in the customer center. Okay, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, all your customers.
All your customers. All your customers. All right. Now, trick question, and you should be able to answer this question. What if you have a customer and who is also your vendor, or your vendor who is also your customer?
You have to list them under customer and under vendor.
Good. Okay, good. All right. How to navigate and use the customer center. So again, it's pretty straightforward. To navigate the customer center, right? We have our list of, we have a list of our customers, right? All on the left side. We have the right side is a little synopsis or a little picture frame of like a little screenshot of what their information's about and a list of all their transactions. And how to navigate it, we've already explored our new transactions. Right? Our new transactions and what you can do. And you can right click on them. And if you select a specific one, you should be able to know how to manage their transactions.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty straightforward that question is. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now the next thing is going to be how to complete the workflow from sales all the way, making it all the way to the deposit. So again, what this is referring to is your home page, right? So this is actually having you to understand how to complete this full-on cycle or this full-on transaction. So starting from the sales, right? If you create an invoice, and once you create an invoice, you're going to get paid, and when you get paid, then you have to deposit your money. Other way around is if you're making a sale that day, you're going to get paid that day. So, boom. Understanding the workflow on how to go from point A all the way to point D. Okay? So that's a pretty straightforward one. All right, and here we're going to be looking at invoice. Again, invoice. What's the difference between an invoice and a sales receipt?
Invoice is billing them for payment in the future, and sales receipt is a receipt for payment received.
Okay.
Okay,
What
so
happens?
Accounts receivable is invoicing, and sales receipt is already paid, so
Okay.
you're giving him a receipt for payments received.
Good. A receipt for payment receipt. Now, I'm going to clarify this exact thing right here. So, in case, this could also come up in an equation is, well, so if an invoice is fully paid off, do you give them a sales receipt? No. The reason why you give a sales receipt is at the time of sale, right? You are paid, right? Where the invoice is at the time of sale, you choose to get paid later. All right, so that's very important that you understand that. And I'm going to go ahead and indicate that right here at time of sale. The paid for in full. Okay, if they give you half a payment, like a split payment, would you give them a sales receipt or would you get them an invoice?
Both. Well, you give an invoice for the balance.
Right. Good. Okay. So next question is, how does QuickBooks use the undeposited funds account? Right? How does it use that account? How does it use the receivable and the checking accounts? Okay.
It's like a temporary spot until it's deposited physically.
Good. Good. Right. And by every time you make that deposit, where does it show up? It's gonna show up on your checking account. Right.
Right.
So yes, that one's pretty straightforward. All right. Next question is how and why to record a customer credit. Remember, there are 4 reasons why you need to record a customer credit. And we just did this
Well, so we know, you mean different ways to apply the credit?
No. This one is going to be why. How and why. Yes, so let's answer the how first. So how do you apply a vendor credit?
To a current invoice.
Yes, current invoice or open invoice. Good.
Invoice or future invoice,
Okay, so we call that is
like a future transaction.
yes. So we call that available credit.
Oh, okay.
Available credit. Okay, for future purchases, I guess you want to say. And what's the last one?
The last one, I thought there were 2 more. Okay, refund.
This is how the options that you do when you apply and you get a full
Or we
refund.
can refund.
Yep, full refund. Good. Okay, and then now we're gonna do why. Why do we issue a credit memo? This one has 4.
Oh, okay. Um, why do we have a credit memo to? I guess to let the customer know or to find out what the customer wants us to do with it.
Okay, well, what's the intention why we need to create a credit memo? What is the customer doing to us?
What is the customer doing to us?
Yeah, what does the customer want from us? What are they doing? What are they doing for us to have to create this credit memo?
Or they're buying something from us.
They already have bought something. So what are
They
they?
overpaid. Yeah.
Okay, overpaid is good. Overpaid, good.
Oh, okay. Now I get the question. Why is okay?
Yeah, why do we need to create a credit memo?
Right, because the customer overpaid.
That's one.
Okay, and they got a discount.
Uh, uh,
That would still be like they overpaid. Okay.
yes.
Okay, they returned.
Returned, good. Returned.
Let's see, overpaid, returned.
It's let me see. This is chapter 3. Okay, I can find the page. I can look up that page for you so you can find it easier. Page 2, chapter 3.
I'm trying to remember it rather than.
Yeah, but I mean, then you can always go back and reread it because you're going to have to study it regardless.
Oh, yeah. I got a lot of reading to do before I even try to do the test.
Yep.
But, it's just really hard for me to retain a lot of this because of I can't read those figures.
Oh, yeah.
When it has lists and all that, I can make that out. But then when it has diagrams with arrows and all that, I can't follow. But when it gets Anyway, excuses. Okay.
Okay, so it's actually going to be the very it's going to be on page 75, basically on the very first page of chapter 3. It tells you right here, why are the reasons that we have to record?
The cancellation of an order.
Cancellation of an order. Yes. All right. Cancellation of an order. And then what is the last one that we used the credit memo for?
Okay, let's see, we got that one. Record a return. Record a credit on account. First step of making a refund. Okay. So
Okay.
what does that mean to record a credit on account for a customer?
To record. Okay, that one's not one of them. I don't know why they bulleted it to make it look like it's 4, but there is one more reason why we give them we do credit memos.
Okay, when a customer requests a discount.
So that's considered a refund slash discount. I'm gonna categorize them the same way because overall that's the same thing as getting a returns or an allowance, right? Now I'm asking you, what else? What's the last thing that we use a credit memo for? What was that one thing that we learned that had to do 2 ways of doing, right? The direct write off and the allowance method.
Oh, okay. Shoot. We're not supposed to be able to just direct write off.
Right, but we have to use a credit memo in order to do so, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is that reason? What are we doing there? That's the last reason why we use a credit memo.
Allowance and I'm drawing a blank.
It's okay. I'll just give it to you. It's to write off bad debt.
Oh gosh, okay. I'm thinking in a different avenue. But
Yes. Yes. These are the 4 reasons why we use a credit memo, right? We use it in case a customer overpays us, right? So we can give them back their money. Second thing is if if they're requesting for a full refund or a discounted on the item, right? Third thing is if they cancel an item, right? If they call us up last minute and says, "Hey, I don't need the items anymore." Great. We've already created the invoice, so now we have to cancel the order. So we would use a credit memo and apply it to the invoice. And then lastly, we learned this already that we need to use a credit memo in order to write off our bad debt, right? If our customer decides to say, "Hey, I'm not paying you anymore," you got to use a credit memo to clear off the bad debt. Okay? How and why to create statements? What is a statement in the first place? A customer statement.
it's a summary of that customer's transactions.
Good. So how do we create one?
You go to the customer center.
You can go to the customer center.
Right click on whoever.
Uh-huh.
And then it should have statement on there somewhere.
Yep. It
Create
should say create estimates, create statements. I believe, let me see. Enter sales tax. Enter state. Yep. Yep.
Towards the bottom.
Yep. Create statements, yes. All right. So this one has,
Hello?
yes, this one has the same 5, 6 different ways to do it.
Yep.
All right, so make sure. Okay, so you know how to do it. Now, why do we create customer statements? This is a pretty straightforward answer. You don't really need to really think about it. Why do we need to create customer statements?
To keep track um, of where the customer is transaction wise.
Okay, good. Good.
I mean,
Okay.
if they owe, what
Good.
they're.
Yes. To let customers know how much they owe. How much they owe. The list of transactions that occurred. Right? Good. Last question here is how to handle bounced checks. Right? We learned about that. How do you create a bounced check?
Um, Gosh, we just went over that yesterday.
Yes, we did.
We have to redo an invoice.
Okay, not redo an invoice.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and select a
Create.
current,
Okay, edit.
not edit. So let me go ahead and pull up a invoice.
Okay.
All right, so here, invoice. All right, okay. All right, so how do we record a bounce check?
Not in the memo.
Not in the memo.
It has to be up there in that
Uh-huh.
other item.
Not under item.
Oh,
You're getting warmer.
huh, gosh. The customer can't this. But no, that's.
Oh, hold on. We need to look at a paid invoice. Okay, so hold on. This isn't a paid invoice. Okay, so this one is a payment for.
Okay, are we there now? What's under more?
Hold on. Okay, for some reason I cannot do it for this one, but if you look at the very top, when you do when you see customer payment, what's at the very top? Are
The
you
very top of the invoice or
at the very top of the customer payment? See, I'm in the customer payment form. What's at the very top of the customer payment form?
find?
Say that again.
Find.
Not
New.
find. Keep going. Keep going.
New.
Can, can you see it on my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep going.
Look up customer service.
Keep going.
Unapplied payment.
Keep going.
Discounts and credit.
One more over.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Record
That was
bounce
like
checks.
faded away. It was faded.
I know, that's why I was like, okay, in this sense, I cannot do it to this one. I can't apply it to this one. I think because it's, I don't know why, but I can't apply for this one. But when you're on your customer payments form, at the very top, you have the option to record a bounce check. And when you do, you're going to get this form that says, okay, now that you're recording a bounce check, how do you want to handle it? And how you're going to handle it is, how much did the bank charge you? $10? Okay, how much are you going to charge this customer now? And you can make up whatever number you want. You could charge them $50 if you'd like. It doesn't matter. As long as you that's how you understand and how to handle this bounce check. And then what happens is that's going to be an additional fee, which that means the customer has to pay on top of it because they gave you a faulty check. So that's all that question is asking is how do you handle it? I just explained all of it.
We go into the invoice.
It has to be a It has to be a paid invoice. So in this case, it's going to be the customer payment window. So in this case, right, not the invoice. The invoice, yes, you could see which one is there, but if they still owe you, then it's going to be useless. So you could open up this window by going to create sales receipts, receive payments. So click receive payments, and then just your customer payment pops up. And then you can go previous to see who was the last person that paid you, right? And then you can record the bounce check. Yes.
Yeah, Lynn? Okay, yeah, the thing to look at, there should be a check number because you want to bounce a check, right? So there should be a check number there that they gave to you. So there's no, if you're not recorded the bounce check, the check number, the quickest doesn't know what to bounce.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so now this one I can because this is a check.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
If you want to read about it, look to page 152, handling bounce checks.
Yes.
We just did that.
We just did that, yeah. We just did that yesterday.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So, yes. Okay. Next question. So, what did you say, Mr. Sanchez? Page 152?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yes.
152.
Okay.
Okay, but you're right. We went to receive payments window and click previous.
Yes.
And then we get the customer payment window. Then it would allow us to record bounce check. Okay. All right, well, you just show me where those are, so.
Okay. So, yes. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick scan of how far we have left. Okay, so we're fairly almost there. We're almost there.
Okay, thank goodness. It's Thursday.
I know. I will let you guys go early as soon as I can. Let me see. Not that soon, but I still have to give you your credit. So I'll let you go at 4:15, okay? Just remind me that it's 4:15 cuz it's Friday for you guys, okay? But right now it's only 3:40. I got 20 plus 15 minutes of your time. I got 35 minutes of your time.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Purchases. So purchases was dealt with chapter 4. Chapter 4 when we dealt with our vendors. So again, a student needs to know, number 1, who should be listed? Oh my gosh, I keep reading that wrong. I'm getting tired myself. Who should be listed in your vendor center?
All your
All of your vendors. Okay, pretty point blank straight question. Okay, how to navigate and use the vendor center. It's pretty straightforward. It's identical to the customer center. All right. Next question is, what is the difference? What are the different windows to making purchases? All right.
Okay, the different workflows for making purchases.
Correct. So remember when we had let's look at our homepage. Our homepage is going to be like this, right? Our little I have to activate my inventory again. Right? Activate inventory. Yes. Oh, nope. There you go. Yes. Oh. What does it say? You may not change this preference. Oh, wrong one. I need to be on company. Wait, that's right. I am on company. It's not letting me.
You may not change the premises on hold on. Oh wait.
On editing an item
Close.
or
Yeah.
while adding or editing an item. Oh, okay. So I have to close out my my
Hold off a
window
little bit.
here. Yeah. Just make sure you're on mute. Okay. No. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out my windows just so then I can properly be able to activate my inventory list. Okay, so here, inventory. There you go. Okay, so now I can look here, and this is my workflow as far as what I'm dealing with my vendors, and it's also doing with my purchases. So purchases we learned in chapter 4, right? This is where we get to create. Actually, no, wait. Purchases of inventory? We don't learn that until chapter 8.
Yeah, we haven't done inventory yet.
No, we have not done inventory yet. So let me see. Let's answer the ones that we can answer. So, for example, how we can understand the different workflows. So, for example, entering and paying a bill. Right? We know how to do this one. This was pure chapter 4 right here because we looking at vendors that build us and how we need to use the payment option, the payment windows option in order to validate that our accounts payable has been paid off. So in this case, yes, we understand this one and we know how to do it. Entering a bill, do we understand the many different ways to enter a bill? Okay. And again, you need to, in order to decrease your accounts payable, you need to use the payment option. Now, the other one is writing checks. Yes, we do know how to write a check, right? All right. What are the different ways to write a check? How can you write a check?
Check register.
Check register, good. Or checking register, not checking. Good. What else? How else can you write a check?
Let's see. Go under banking.
Banking under where? Homepage, menu bar.
Well, you can homepage. You can use the write checks
Good.
icon.
Right. The icon. Yes.
Yes, you can write it checks that way. Yes, you can.
And what's the other way? Or did I miss that other way?
Well, the oops is no. We so far we established that you can use a checking register. You can use the write
Okay.
a checks icon. Yep.
Right. And the other way?
Okay, so
banking.
we went to, yeah, that's, we already said that.
Yeah, we're already on.
Banking and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I check
from
a
the
menu bar.
menu, yeah, from the
Yeah,
menu bar.
yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what you meant. I was referring on how you write a check and what are the different ways to write a check. And you could do it by
Yeah,
entering it
yeah.
in manually. You can either use the write a check options or you can actually, yeah, I think
Go
those are,
under bank from the
yeah,
menu bar.
yeah, okay.
Go to right. You go to the menu bar, write checks. You go to the icon on the home page. You can
Mm-hmm.
enter a check because when you enter it into the register, you can click on it and it'll produce the check that you want that you wanted to that you entered into the register.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, those are the three ways. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Wait, banking on the menu bar and you do write a check.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Now, how do you use a credit card? Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. How do you enter in those charges?
Yeah, well, on the home page, it has a credit card icon.
Mm-hmm. That's one way. Enter in, what did you say? Enter credit card. Okay. Home page.
Okay. I think you can also go to the menu bar under banking.
Yes, you can. All right. Menu bar. Menu bar banking. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
banking. Yeah. Enter credit card charge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what's the last way?
Okay, I think from the icon,
What icon?
at the icon bar.
Oh, the icon bar. We do not have a banking
Okay.
available.
Then then it's got to be from the home page also. Where is the, oh, enter credit card charges.
That was the first one that we explored.
Oh, we already did that one. Okay.
Yes. All right. Now I'm gonna ask you a question here. How do we even get to see our credit card transactions?
Um, we go to our credit card statement.
And how do we get there?
Statements.
Not no 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 nope nope.
Okay, so we go to company.
Company. Okay. And what?
No, company. That's customers, right? Okay. Then let's see. Customer credit card. No. No, it's not there.
How do we look at our registers?
Oh shoot.
How do we get to look at all of the registers? Let me stop there. How do we get to look at all of our registers?
Our chart of accounts.
Yes, chart of accounts, and then you're gonna look up your credit card, right? It was what was it?
Right.
National credit card, Visa,
National Bank Visa Gold.
right? If we double click it, are you able to type in your credit card charge?
Yes.
Yes, you can. You can also make your payment here too, but you have to be careful because it's either you use a bill to pay or you write a check to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yes, that's how we get to see our transactions. Okay, so that's how we do it when we're looking at our, what was it? Chart of accounts. Visa, credit card, register. Okay, good. Now, how do you use a debit card? How do we enter a debit card transaction?
That's associated with your checkings account. So, do we treat it like a check?
Yes, you're close.
Okay.
So checking register. Yes.
Okay, so we can go under banking for that.
Under banking, yes.
Okay, check register.
Mm-hmm.
And the icon on the homepage.
Okay, but how do we enter it in as a debit charge?
Okay, so we go to our register.
I'm already there.
Okay, so we just enter, the payee, the information?
Yes.
Lee,
Yes, yes.
how do you know what check number to put on your check form?
Well, the debit card doesn't have a check number.
No, exactly. Well, how do you know what number to put up, what check number to put on your check form? How do you know? How do you know this is check 1501?
On your from your checking register?
From the actual checks you're writing, right? Either
Right.
this is next check in line, and you're right. The debit card does not have a number, right?
Right.
So how are you going to show that this was a debit card and not an actual check?
Well, using the example
Just write
from
that.
January 20th, is this bill payment?
That's a bill payment. That's different. So you're thinking too hard. He's asking you a very simple question.
All you're going to put down is that instead of a check number,
Right?
put down debit card.
I'm gonna write. So for the example right here, right? I put that's a payment. That's a bill pay. So here, right? This is check number 329. I can come in here and just write debit. Debit or just deb,
Wherever you want, as long as you know where it is.
right? And it says, oh, this error here, okay? You can go ahead and click yes. Right, it does it now.
When I come to you and say, I wrote check 1501 to Lin Vu, you can go into QuickBooks to check form and write down check number 1501. But when I come to you and say, I used my debit card at Walmart, it's not check number. All you're going to write down is a debit card was used.
So we just write debit. Okay.
Debit card, ATM, whatever you are comfortable using. But yeah,
Okay.
as far as your exam, they prefer debit card. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then on top of that, that applies to writing a check as well. You can do the same thing by writing a check, but instead of putting a number here, you put your debit card. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That's all it is. Okay. So
So using a debit card is the same as writing a check, except noting that it's a debit card instead of a check number.
correct.
Exactly.
Okay, good. Next question here is how to record the transaction in the purchase workflow. So this is chapter 8, right? How and why do you need a vendor credit? That's also chapter 8. How to complete the inventory worksheet. Okay, so this is all chapter 8. How to set up, collect, and pay sales tax. All right, you had to read this part. I remember we touched upon it, but this is definitely going to be a chapter 3 portion that you guys were supposed to read. So first off, how do you set up to a sales tax? You need to create a sales tax item. Straightforward. All right? And then how do you collect it? Collecting it, you're going to go to Edit, Preferences. And then you're going to go to the tab that says Sales Tax. All right, so here I'm going to show you an example. So if I'm interested in collecting my sales tax. So I'm going to go to Edit, Menu, Preferences. I'm going to go to Sales and, I'm going to go Sales Tax, right? I go to my company, and this is where you're going to actually look at where to be able to establish your the amount that you're collecting, and then yes, and how to schedule your payments to pay your sales tax is going to be here. You could determine whether you want to pay it every month, pay it every quarterly, or pay every year. All right. Now, as far as collecting it, it's pretty straightforward, right? Because we created the sales tax item, it's going to automatically collect through there as soon as you charge the amount. So this is how you pay. How do you schedule to pay it? You go to Edit Preferences. But in order to collect it, you need to have a sales tax account, and you need to have a sales tax item, right? So sales tax account, right? And then you go to Edit Preference to schedule when to pay the sales tax. Okay? 3 easy steps. And this one you had to read in your book. But I did talk about setting it up, right? We got to look at setting up one tax item, right? And yes. Okay. Next question is bank reconciliation. Yes, you know how to do bank reconciliation. I literally showed you this yesterday. So all you need is your bank statement with matching ending balances. I'm sorry, matching beginning balances. Right? And it's straightforward there. You're going to compare the checks that you've written
And the deposits.
Yes, you're going to look at all your deposits. And you're also going to be looking at any bank fees, service charges, /fees, and you're going to be looking at any income that you have, any interest income that you have collected. And that's it. And we just had to make sure that the difference is 0. Good. All right, that's it. Straightforward. Pretty easy, that one is. All right, payroll. All right, all of this is going to be chapters 10 and 11. So we can skip this whole entire thing here. Reports. All right. What can we do for reports? Reports, you should know why and how to use the report center. All right. We looked at this yesterday. So it just really depends on what kind of information you want to extract as far as the data that you're looking for. Are you interested in profits? Are you interested in sales? Are you interested in the customers that you have? That's how you understand what you need to look up and how to create the report. How to customize reports. Okay, again, we looked at that by selecting the customize at the top of the window, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can customize by changing the color, changing the title, changing what is going to appear, like what are the columns are going to appear. We also looked at how to change it from cash to accrual basis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the basic question that each report answers. Okay. Okay, I'm going to, again, this is pretty straightforward, right? This goes along the same lines with what is the person that's creating the reports, what kind of piece of information they're looking for is going to answer the question that they're going to be using the data for. Next is how and why to send reports to Excel or how to update/refresh Excel. Okay, so remember when I taught you guys how to export? This is it right here. How to export it. You can export it to Excel. You can export it to PDF. You can just send it off as an email. All right. How and why is that important? Well, it's you're creating reports. I don't know how else you can explain it. It's pretty self-explanatory, right? You're creating reports for either one of the reason is because you're doing an annual report presentation, or the second one is you're submitting it to the tax government to process it in, right? That is exactly why.
Mm-hmm.
How and why to process multiple reports. This one, I believe I had you guys read this part in your book. Okay, so this was chapter 6 under creating multiple reports. Then this one is how and why to memorize reports, and we looked about that too, right? You customize it the way that you like it. And what you could do is when you memorize these reports, so in the future, when you are creating the same exact report, but with different numbers, obviously, you can apply your custom titles, whatever you did to your report, and apply it to this exact one. Okay, so that's what memorized reports is. Let me see. Oh, we're almost done. So let's see what we're good on time. Okay, I still got 10 more minutes. So this one's going to be very easy because this is a refresher for you, Lee. So answering basic accounting principle questions, which is 10% of your exam, which is going to be 5 questions. So a student should know, number 1, what the basic financial statements are and have a basic understanding of each of what they mean. All right. So what are the financial statements that you learned in QuickBooks?
The profit and loss.
Profit and loss.
Cash flow.
Cash flow.
Let's see. What else? Equity.
Okay, equity is going to be it's going to be together with another sheet. It's going to be together with another financial statement.
Right. Oh my gosh, what is that other one? Um, oh my gosh.
Come on, Lee. I'm gonna make a really funny accounting joke that I heard on YouTube. Are you gonna give me some BS?
Ah,
Are you gonna give me some BS?
VS.
Yes, you're gonna give me a balance sheet.
Oh, oh gosh.
Yes, you're gonna give me a balance
VS,
sheet.
yeah.
Yes, that was an accounting joke that I thought it was so funny, and I was like, are you gonna give me a BS? Yes, you're gonna give me a balance sheet. Okay, ha ha ha. All right. So what is the purpose of having a profit and loss? This is one straightforward.
Or losing money.
Yes, and we call that profitability.
Right.
Good. What is the purpose of having cash flows?
Um,
This one's kind of tricky because I was kind of on and off on teaching you guys about
yeah,
this one.
I mean, I got I just don't know how to put it to words.
Okay.
Just that's your cash on hand that, um, see, I don't know how to put it to words. What you have, the cash on hand.
Okay, I'm gonna help you out here. So
Yeah.
it's cash flowing in what direction?
Uh, Flowing in what direction?
Uh-huh.
Like positive or negative? Are you
Yes and no. Okay, so when I say cash is flowing in, what does that mean?
income?
Yes, the money that's you're pulling in, right? What
Yeah.
does it mean when cash is flowing out?
Liability or
Not liability. What happens?
expense.
Yes, expense or you're paying off, right? You're getting rid of your money. So cash flows what it does is it
Like an income and expense.
kind of, remember that's part of profit and loss. But what cash flows is it actually determines how much actual money is actually flowing into your company and how much money is flowing out of your company. So in this case, it's taking an accrual basis and it's going to convert it to cash basis. It's going to tell you legitimately how much actual physical cash is actually coming into your company, not the amount that people owe you, because that's not real money. That's
Right.
owed money. That's right now that if you in a sense you can think of it that as invisible money. It's not physically in your hands.
Right.
So we're gonna strip down accrual basis to a cash basis, and we're gonna look at how much cash is actually flowing into the company, and we're gonna look at how much cash is actually flowing out of the company.
Okay, that's a good way to look at it.
Yes. All right, and then lastly, what is the whole purpose of our balance sheet?
Well, equity equals minus, see, assets equals equity plus liability. So equity minus asset equals liability.
Liabilities plus equity. Yes, and what do we call that?
The accounting equation.
Correct. Our main purpose and goal for our balance sheet is to ensure that all of our assets equals our liabilities plus our equity, right? The fundamental backbone of accounting, which is the accounting equation. We want to ensure that this equation is true. All right, what's the difference between cash and accrual basis or accrual reports.
Yeah, you just said that. Cash is when it's happening, when the transaction is recorded when it's happening. When the cash is either received or paid.
Good. So cash.
Accrual, yeah.
All right, and accrual. Go ahead. When cash.
Yeah, accrual is recorded when the transaction, when something has occurred, when the transaction has occurred.
Good. So accrual is going to be when so record when sale is when revenues are earned, and record expenses when incurred.
Right.
Right? Yes. That's the definition between cash and accrual basis. Now, that's the same thing it applies to reports, right? You can have your reports to reflect an accrual basis or a cash basis. Now, question to you, this is just an off-topic question. What does QuickBooks default your settings to? Cash or accrual?
Accrual.
It defaults to
Accrual.
accrual basis, correct. Right. How and why to set a closing date. So I will talk to you about this in chapter 13. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll skip that question for now. How to enter a journal entry if asked to do so by an accountant. Again, this is going to also be applied to chapter 13, right? When we're looking to making our last ending adjustments, or if we are doing any when we close up our books, these are going to apply to chapter 13.
Okay.
All right, let's see. And okay, we got 2 minutes. Okay, we only have 4 extra questions, so let's just go through it. So this is going to be customization. So this is going to be chapter 7. All right. So here, how and why to memorize transactions.
Oh, you just said it. So that in the future you can refer back.
Okay, so this is different. Memorizing reports and memorizing transactions are 2 different
Oh,
things.
oh, okay.
Memorizing transactions, I believe this is chapter, for some reason I think it's this is chapter 9 or chapter, I think this is a chapter 9 thing. And if it's
Yeah,
not
we've only talked about the reports.
correct, we only talked about reports. Now, I will verify with this over the weekend whether this is a chapter 9 question or a chapter 7 question. But I definitely feel like it's a chapter 9 because when we record our employees, or when we record a certain transaction of like when we go into billing for time, that's considered a transaction that's going to occur and you want to all the time. So that's going to be something that you want to memorize. So I'm going to confirm this later on whether this is a chapter 7 or a chapter 9 thing. All right, the next question is how to set up multi-users and what level of access to be granted. All right, so this one has to deal with setting up your users and passwords. So this one's going to, or multiple users. So
Because, yeah, I think we had that question earlier.
yep, but that's how to switch to multi-users. This is to set up a multi-user.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is, I want to say this is a chapter 12. On setting up the users, because remember when we went through chapter 12, They wanted us to skip the setting up the user and setting up the profiles because they said that do it afterwards, right? But I'm not quite sure where this section is because I don't recall it either, where that section is to set up the users.
Okay, I can go back to chapter 12.
Okay.
To set up the users, go to company. Go to the menu bar. Go to company, and go to no menu bar. Company. No, one more. Right there.
Set up
And
users
right
and
there,
passwords.
yeah.
My what I was talking about is where in the book does it tell you about this?
Oh, let me see here.
That's what my question was because I don't remember when I had to set up a user. And I don't think we teach how to set up a user. We only know where to set up the user.
Yeah, we haven't done it, but we can.
I want to say it is in chapter 12 because that's how you set up things in general, and that should be something in chapter 12 to set up a user, but I don't recall that it being in any of that chapters. So
Try page 382.
382.
Yeah, there at the bottom of page 382.
382. And what chapter is that?
Again, like you said, company file setup.
So that is
Number
chapter
12, no?
12, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Again, I don't believe I think I went over I didn't go over it. I jumped over it because of the next concept. Plus it tells you to skip the admin password and everything. It doesn't really go back and tell you to set up the user. So go ahead and read that on your own, and then when we come back to visit this exact worksheet again, we can finish answering the rest of the questions. Okay, how and why to create a custom field. Okay. So, Lee,
Yeah.
let's answer this question together. Well, how many total custom fields can you create?
Oh my gosh. Okay, 15.
Good, 15 custom. Okay. How many can a vendor, a customer, and an employee can have?
7.
7. So anybody, that's a person, right? People, they can have up to 7 custom fields. All right. What about items and anything that exists beyond items? Lists.
5.
5. So items slash lists are 5 custom fields. Good. All right, and lastly but not least, how to customize an invoice. Okay, we did look at this before. How do you customize an invoice?
And go to invoice
You can go to an invoice.
on the menu bar.
For the menu bar, you want to go there?
Or the home page.
You can go on the home page to create an invoice. Okay.
And then on the icon bar.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I think that's the only place you cannot
Do what?
go to the invoice.
For the icon bar, yeah, you can't go to the invoice on there. But can you tell me, where do you see customize?
Um, at, wait a minute. Where? I don't see it up there.
Exactly. In order to
Oh,
customize an invoice, you need to go to your list, and you're gonna go ahead and
right.
list.
Yeah, and then preferences, right?
No, no,
Item.
nope, nope, nope.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, we go to list.
Uh-huh.
Customer and vendor profile list.
Nope. You're getting warmer.
Okay, we're dealing with invoices.
Correct. Customizing our invoices.
Okay, so we edit.
Edit.
Go, new. No, not new.
No. I'm gonna say go back to lists.
Okay.
Okay.
Customer and vendor. No.
No, that's going to be just looking at them, just changing their list and how they look.
Okay, so do we go to item list?
Not item list.
Ay, ay, ay.
Okay, go one.
Okay.
Okay, Lee. Go one more
Yeah.
down.
Fixed asset item list?
No. Where are you looking at?
You said go one down.
Oh, sorry, not from
Item.
not from item list. I'm sorry. Go back to customs and customer and vendor.
Okay,
All right.
templates?
Templates, yes. When we come here, we can create infinite amounts of invoices that we want to create. Here we can customize it and put our logo on it. Make it how we want to have our invoice to send out to our customers. So this is where we can customize our invoices.
Okay, I was thinking the customer's information rather than the form.
Oh no,
Customer
this is talking
customizing the form. Okay,
this is customizing invoices, which is their forms. Okay, so I'll
right.
go ahead and enter how to customize an invoice form. All right, and then there you go. You go to lists, you go to templates.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then you go ahead and either create or / customize an invoice. All right, so this is where you can have the capability to put your logo in there, change the colors, the scheme, whatever you want for your invoice. All right, so that's it for today. And that's it for, I guess, the list of things that we have here. All right, I'm going to save this and post this onto the Google Classroom so you guys can review this again on your own time.